Well, it's been quite a week. For only the third time in our nation's history, articles of impeachment have passed the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, whether you want to pat yourself on the back or hang your head in shame, I'll leave that to the judgment of history. But we should understand a few things about the impeachment process and about what has happened this week in the House of Representatives. Now, Article 2 of the Constitution says the President and Vice President and other executive officers can be impeached for and conviction of treason, bribery, high crimes, and misdemeanors. Now, contrary to popular belief, the term misdemeanor, according to Webster's 1828 dictionary, means bad behavior that doesn't quite rise to the level of crime. So, if the people who've been complaining that no one's proven a crime against the president, that's true, but that's not a requirement for impeachment. It's a requirement for conviction of impeachment. And even the concept of crime isn't necessary. They have to prove their case. Now, personally, I look at the spectacle that has been this impeachment inquiry, and I see a lot of issues. I see a violation of due process rights. I see a violation of good order. I see a circus. But that's my opinion. Now, once the House of Representatives has passed the impeachment articles, it's now the job of the Senate to try this impeachment. This is where the trial begins. Now, the fact that the president had a limited ability to have witnesses come before the House of Representatives prior to them voting on the articles of impeachment certainly is an issue of due process, certainly is, to my point of view, bad faith and bad behavior on those running those particular hearings. But again, according to the Constitution, it's not a requirement. What the House does is not a trial. But something interesting happened on the way to the impeachment. I read an article that said Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, is not forwarding the articles of impeachment to the Senate for trial. Apparently, she wants to wait until the Senate announces how they're going to handle the trial. Now, this goes beyond simply bad faith. This goes into bad politics. This goes into bad governing. You see, the House has absolutely nothing to do with the trial of the impeachment. Their job is done. They have looked at the evidence as it is, and as a body said, yes, there is sufficient cause to remove the President of the United States. That's over. Now it's time for the Senate. However, now they're putting in a roadblock. This, by the way, is pretty much what our founding fathers feared might happen. That this spirit of party, this vendetta between one party and another, would lead to the impeachment process being used for political purposes, not for governing. This should be no surprise to anyone who's watched the state of politics in the last several years. And again, it'll be history that eventually judges the actions both of the House and of the President and eventually of the Senate. But I am reminded of what George Washington said in his farewell address. The alternate domination of one faction over another, sharpened by the spirit of revenge natural to party dissension, which in different ages and countries has perpetuated the most horrid enormities, is itself a frightful despotism. But this leads at length to a more formal and permanent despotism. The disorders and miseries which result gradually incline the mind of men to seek security and repose in the absolute power of an individual, and sooner or later, the chief of some prevailing faction, more able or more fortunate than his counterparts, turns this disposition to the purposes of his own elevation on the ruin of public liberty. Sounds to me like Congress, at least today. Now, I understand people in the Democratic Party don't like the president. I understand that. They thought their candidate should have won, and she didn't. I understand that. Although I don't agree with it, I actually understand this spirit of revenge that Washington was talking about, and it has become full blossomed in 2019. But I actually don't blame the Democrats in the House of Representatives. Don't blame the Republicans. Don't blame anybody in the House of Representatives. At least not completely. No, I ask you, the American people, look at your representative. Look at how he or she has conducted him or herself during the last few weeks. Look how they voted, but not just how they voted. What did they say? What were their positions? What was their reasoning for what they did? And ask yourself, is that what you would have done? Better yet, ask yourself if you would like to be treated the way they've been treating the president. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm no fan of the president. I think some of the things he's done have been good. I think a lot of the things he's done has been bad, have been unconstitutional, have been illegal. But he is the duly elected president of the United States. I disagreed a lot with what previous presidents did. I didn't call for their impeachment because I disagreed with them. But ultimately, we have to remember the House of Representatives represent the people of the United States. We hire them to represent us, to act in our name, to be our agents. They are a representation of us. And I'll ask you quite simply, are you proud of the way your representative has acted or not? Now, if you are proud, well, you and I probably have some serious disagreements. Again, if you think the president behaved badly, prove it. That's all I ask. I'm not going to defend the president if there's proof that he's done something wrong, but you have to at least give the person a fair chance. And if these are the people who represent us, these are the people that when the world sees, they see us. What does that say about us? What does it say about the American people? So as you go around today and over the next few days, either proud of what has happened or, again, maybe distressed about the state of the federal government, ask yourself, has your representative conducted your business in a way that you are happy with? And if not, what are you going to do about it? If you want some more information, head over to my website, constitutionstudy.com, or over to the Facebook site, facebook.com/constitutionstudy. You'll find more articles, more videos. But I really want you to take some time and think about how you would react if a government official treated you the way they've treated the president. If proposed charges against you were brought in the same manner as the charges that have been made against the President of the United States. And that once you have been charged, whether or not the President deserves the same right to a speedy and public trial that you do. And if not, why not? And if he does, what are you going to do about it? Because those people in Washington don't work for somebody else. They work for you.
You have to know wherever you make your stand. Came from a long through line of everyday